All right, call this meeting of the Jefferson County Health and Human Relations Commission to order 6:04 PM on August 27th. All right, welcome. And we'll get started by looking at last time's minutes. It's been a long time since we met. April 30th. So did everyone have a chance to look at last meeting's minutes? Any adjustments, edits, anything? Can I get a motion to approve that? I motion to approve them. Okay.
Second.
All right, previous minutes are approved. There were no agenda items submitted online, and it does not appear that we have any public input. All right, so let's just go over last time's meeting. As a reminder, we did sort of some visioning and goal setting, and we said that then we would come back, bring some more information so that we can figure out what those next steps would then be in this, I was gonna say new semester.
It is.
In this new semester.
Maybe not for us, but it is, for most of you, it is. Half of us are early.
So, the first thing was, and Dave sent this to sent out an overview of county commissioner and county council responsibilities. So I think we were trying to figure out really what is our role and where do we fit in and all that. So Dave, would you want to just say a little bit about it? I know everyone has it, but
Well, I mean,
context set.
yeah, I mean, county commissioners are the executive branch of the county government. And so I usually say we're kind of like the mayors of the county. There's three of us. Every county has three commissioners. And there's a list of things. Normally you ask people what a commissioner is responsible for, roads, but any other infrastructure kind of things we're responsible for. And then the county council is the fiscal branch. And so they look at budgets and tax rates and things like that. Try to work together, sometimes better than others, but so yeah, those are kind of the two. Yeah, but there are other elected officials with throughout the courthouse. The assessor, the auditor, the treasurer, the recorder, the clerk. I forgot one. The surveyor.
And all of those are elected duties?
Yeah, those that I listed, yeah. And then there are some appointed ones that, the health director is an appointed, veteran service officer, the EMA director, the 911. Those are fine.
So how does this group fit into this? Or is the idea that this is a group that helps advocate to the county commissioners?
Yes. So we have a number of different boards. There's the Board of Tourism. There are kind of advisory boards for the 911 and EMA. There's two really under the surveyor. He's an elected division, but you've got the Planning Commission and the Board of Zoning Appeals, and so we have a number of different boards out there that most times they get they have the freedom to do things, and if they need the commissioners, they'll come to us and do that.
So in theory, if we had some sort of, let's say we were starting to get a bunch of people coming to us about, I don't know what it would be, some sort of concern, and we felt like the commissioners, it would be beneficial for the commissioners to look into some sort of ordinance, we could bring that to
yeah,
you all.
you could make a recommendation, and you could even if you had some thoughts on it, rather than just saying we think there needs to be this, but you had some specifics, that would be good too. So just gives.
Okay. Excellent.
I have a question. I imagine all of the other commission groups that might be able to provide advice on certain issues. Have public meetings similar to this and likely have them. Is there any like particular one that you think is a model of what an effective running one looks like? That maybe would be helpful for us to just watch one of their meetings in practice.
That's a good question.
I guess in by endorsing one specifically, you're not saying that they're the.
Sure.
But.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they all have their own, I hate to take the chicken way out, we all kind of have their own nuances and stuff like that, and it is, there are some, you know, planning commission, board of zoning appeals, mostly people are coming to them asking for things, whether that's a variance or a special exception in an ordinance, or they have questions, anyway, so there's things like that. I don't think we have that. Maybe that's what we want. Maybe we can try to advertise and get us that kind of place. I mean, we are kind of unique in the roles that we're looking at. I think that's part of what we want to do, but I think we also want to push information out to folks to kind of help them. What are the resources out there? I mean, I think to me, that's when we started. That was kind of one of the big things. All right, people. You go, I always joke, but and it's true, you go to a government website and finding information on a government website is not always easy. So bring in those people who are part of that and help them give us information so we can get it out to people. So they're kind of we have a little bit of a unique role in that case. I'll look around, I mean, because I think the cities help. Similar committee, I don't know what exactly their name is, but they're there to take complaints, basically, people coming in like that, and I think we can do that, but I think there's other things that we've talked about that we want to do, so and what are we, year 3, 4, maybe longer,
I think
maybe 5,
of this group,
yeah,
I think 2.
2.
Well, because I was a 2-year appointment, right? And I am a.
Sure, we probably reappointed you at least a little bit.
Oh, I did.
Little did you know.
Oh, yeah, I never.
I mean, it may be 4 years that we've been around, because I think we're on the
You're
second.
correct. Yes.
Second. That's all right. I know, the school just started. You talked to me about that at the beginning of the meeting, so I've been there. I know what those things are only. But. So I mean, it is. We've tried in some cases, but sometimes it takes a little longer to get our name out there, for people to understand that, hey, we're here, so. Still.
Awesome. Well, related to that, I think maybe this is kind of in a weird order for the follow-ups, but, so Susan and DJ, well, Susan sent out this awesome list of, well, Susan, do you want to explain what it is?
It's really like groups in our community that I know are already advocating for our community, specifically like related to like food shortages, for transportation. And these are all groups that are already advocating for a lot of great things. I'm sure there's other groups, but I feel this is a good starting point.
Absolutely. And then DJ printed this one up. We want to talk about what's all in here.
So this was a resource that I have the version from April 2023, whenever I was part of the HHRC. But it was a kind of a community resource guide that's coordinated and put together by the clearinghouse. That has a lot of kind of resource referral divided by type. And so I thought this would be really kind of helpful, at least snapshot of at least what's recently been happening within our community. But some of the points of contact may be a bit different, where there might have been some movements into the areas since 2023. But we could also check if River Valley Resources might continue to maintain a document like this that we could get a revised version of.
We probably do.
So I think what we had sort of discussed last time, my gosh, I mean, we have slept how many months?
You moved houses.
I moved, I don't know where I am. Okay, I think the thought was, so if you go to the discussion for our vision statement. What the vision that we sort of created, and I just reread it, I was like, wow, we really did some good work, this is good. So HHRC will serve Jefferson County as an advocate for the gaps. Amplifying services which instill belonging through access to transportation, nutritious food, affordable housing, and health resources, using community assessment to drive creative and inventive solutions. So I think what we had discussed was a first step, we wanted to determine what are the, services and resources, and then how do we want to go about amplifying them? Does that seem like what we talked about? And so this was gonna be our first step, but here are the resources, and then where do we want to start? And I had a question, and I feel like we answered this, and again, I slept. Do we have social media for this? Do we have our own, like Instagram, or has that ever existed?
Instagram. I think we could. I don't think we have Instagram. I think, Sarah Alexander, the admin assistant for us, will take care of the counties, but I don't think it's a problem if we start our own. So I think a lot of groups, I don't know any boards, but a lot of groups have started their own. So if we wanted to do that, it's a free way to get information out to folks. And so.
I was just thinking if we're trying to share who we are and the services, that might be an easy way to do that.
I agree, I like that.
And I mean, realistically, Instagram and Facebook are interrelated now, so if you create one, you can do identical posts between them without having to post twice too, so. And I would say many local folks are more Facebook friendly than Instagram friendly, but we want young folks too, and that's where they're on Instagram.
Yes.
So I can certainly look into that unless somebody really wants to look into that. I manage like 5 different sites on here, so why not add another one?
Particularly not skilled in that area.
So then maybe, why don't we,
I think you can kind of, we'll connect it to the county's website, so it'll go
Yep.
up on it as well, so we can kind of get that.
so once it's created, we would then share that with,
Right, Sarah would be able to. Yeah.
awesome. So one of the things we had done in the past is bring folks in, like you were talking about, to share what the services are, so then we could amplify that in some way, which we didn't really get to that point necessarily, though we did do that. Coffee chat, I think that was one way we tried to do that, but if we were to think of like, what is the first group or opportunity that we would want to make, like, do we want to bring them in, learn, and then start sharing, or what do you all think about our next step?
I guess I'm curious if there's like a logical way to prioritize, like what would be the most pressing issues to hear sooner rather than later? I think if our role is to provide recommendation and guidance to commissioners of the county on the issues of concern that our committee oversees, I'd be curious to know if we will ask these groups if there's any kind of barrier to their work that is formed by policy, or I'm not sure. That's just a thought, but not necessarily the answer. But I do think that process would probably be slower than amplifying their stuff, if that's something that.
Well, I think it would be twofold,
Yeah, true.
right? You invite a group or organization, whatever, get their information as part of the conversation, find out if there are barriers. We amplify their services. And if there are things that we need to advocate for, then we do that too. I think it could be both and. So what do we want to bring in first? Do we know, does anybody know any of these people that are like, wow, they would love to come in and have us then? So we're gonna have to pick something to start to with any sort of, amplifying. I mean, my thought is the first thing that should happen on this Instagram is telling people who we are and maybe our vision, right? That sort of thing. But other than that, we're gonna start sharing resources, figure out who's first.
I think from this list, people that we have already seen before have been, Brad Wood has come and spoken with us. I think Lindsay Wine have been a guest at one of our meetings before. And I also believe that we have had somebody from, what's the name of that? The Bethany Legacy Foundation, are they on this list?
Yeah,
I feel like, I don't think Dora was present, but I think we had someone like at one of our very early meetings. So it's been more than a year for sure.
Dora is new down there.
Dora's new down there? Oh.
I thought she was the first, I thought Dora was the first,
Yeah,
CEO,
yeah,
But she
When
was
she-
new and
executive director, I mean.
yeah,
She was
she's
the very
been there
first
the
one.
whole time.
Yeah,
she has.
she was the one that started it, well, was
Yeah.
hired to be there first.
They were right next to us, so I know.
Yeah,
so they're having,
Like a town hall type thing, right?
right on September 17th, from 4 to 6 at Fairfield,
Didn't we bring up the pencil, but right at the minutes.
yeah. So they have, 20, is that too many? 20 different speakers?
There's a bunch, yeah,
Yeah, there's a bunch of different speakers that month.
some local ones, and then there's some other. more
Yeah.
Professional type, I guess. The local ones are professional too.
Cover yourself in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it just came out like,
It's like a firm.
Yeah.
People from that firm, those are the,
a town hall on the common good
there you go.
for Jefferson County, Indiana.
Hmm.
Loneliness, anxiety, and the common good. 2-hour conversation about the challenges facing our communities and new paths forward. Capita, it's a think tank, national think tank.
yeah,
And then there will be elected officials, civic leaders, partners from various sectors, and you, Jefferson County citizen. So, present, they have, Bill Barnes will be there, so he's on this list. Teresa Brown from Madison Consolidated, Matt Chandler, Liz Cooper from Freedom Center, Bob Courtney, Alicia Christopoli from Madison Main Street, Carol Dozier from KDH, Fairfax, Casa Amiga, Corsa. And Harson.
So it may be good. I mean, I'm probably gonna be there. But to make some of these contacts and start those discussions with them there. And kind of, I think. Most everyone that's on the list that Susan gave us is gonna be there, so we can start those discussions and say, hey, I'd love to come and talk. And so some people, that's gonna help us identify who's first, because they're ready to go and.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, it looks like they've got it arranged on the agenda to do a networking time from 6 to 7.
I can get a lot of, I don't know if I can get all of them, but I could try. So if you wanna come,
I think it's a great idea.
we actually moved our commissioner meeting to the day before so we could, cause we had a commissioner meeting on the 17th.
Yeah, so there's a program from 4 to 6, and then there's
Yeah.
networking reception at the end, that makes sense.
That little card's going, okay, I'm supposed to talk to him. Tracking him down, hey. Okay,
Well, I think that'd be great if folks would be interested in attending, and that may lead to some interesting ideas too, because the topic is great for the type of thing we've been
Yeah.
discussing. So. DJ, I am going to send you the registration form so you can put it in the minutes so people want to register. It's a free event.
I have it, so I'll go ahead and make
Oh,
it.
you found it.
It's that right.
Did that right, yep. Super. So then I wonder if we're thinking about some action items, if we say, if anyone who can attend that, that would be great, bring some ideas and meet some folks. And then between now and the next time we meet, hopefully develop an Instagram, Facebook, something. And then we need to figure out then, yeah, who do we want to start bringing and what do we want to start amplifying? That sound right? Good.
I think an event like this will be very helpful in getting started and
Absolutely,
lay something down, so.
absolutely. Other thoughts?
Who would the action item of, I guess, is the action item not literally something that's taking place, like of the prepping the social media plan? Is that just like,
I will create the accounts.
okay,
I will create the accounts and I will make a graphic that has our vision statement. And I will probably reach out to get photos of people. And maybe ask you a question or two. I think if we can, that would be a really good start, is like, here's who we are, here's what our plan is, and then that could be scheduled out ideally until we then attend this thing and figure out who we want to bring in and post it out first.
I love that.
And I think, I remember we discussed how we were hoping that we would get to a point where we had all these resources and we understood them well enough that then we could go start attending these events in the community again, where we're like present and able to share those resources. And be a resource ourselves. But I think the thought was, until people even know what we are and who we do, there's not as big of a benefit of trying to do that. All right, any thoughts on those items from the previous meeting?
Good. And hit on all of the action items that I should have on the
Awesome.
agenda.
Any new business?
I feel like after we stopped meeting, there's been a lot of community discourse around the data center.
Yeah,
Just wanted to.
and
name
your
that.
point is?
I just wanted to name it.
Where are things with that at this moment? Like, what's the status of?
So the one that's been proposed at JPG, a lawsuit has been filed and it's awaiting some sort of, it's not gonna be a jury trial, but it'll be a decision by a judge.
Okay,
So
about whether or not.
whether the
Order.
Board of Zoning Appeals, which said that the decision that was made by the planning, or forget his exact title, but the planning and zoning officer was correct. That a data center, and a data center fits into a heavy industrial area. That's the only decision that's been made. We don't know anything about what is gonna be this final design, and that trying to explain to people, they haven't made a design for this yet, because they don't know that it's going there, and they wouldn't design it until they know for sure.
So the only thing that has actually happened is they said data center fits with heavy industry.
Right. That zone.
In the zone.
Right.
Okay.
And so, and we're trying to explain that until we see what they propose, and we're gonna have it reviewed by an engineering firm, and we know the limitations of the property. We're not gonna say, oh yeah, go ahead and build it. We're gonna say, all right, you gotta do this, or this, or this. And if they say, we can't do that, well then it won't go forward.
Mhm.
If they say they can, well then, that's, we're not gonna let things come into the county that's gonna destroy the county. That would be kind of counterproductive, so. And I know people want to, well, we need to stop. Well, we don't know, stop what? Because they haven't proposed, I mean, they've got a kind of a general layout, but you don't know the particulars of it, and until that next step is approved, we won't, because then they're not gonna submit anything, because they don't know. Exactly.
Well, they're not gonna wanna put money into
Right,
design
right.
work, yeah.
That's an expensive part of it, but.
Yeah.
Is there a sense of what the timeline is for a ruling to happen, or when?
Well, so, the suit was filed in Ripley County, and the judge there moved it, said he's not gonna rule on it, so he sent it to Jefferson County. The Jefferson County judge recused himself, and so supposed to be earlier this week, a judge was supposed to be selected. They said draw out of a hat. I don't know if they really do that, but they were gonna pick a judge. But that, I haven't heard if that has occurred yet or not, but and then it would really be up to him on how. And the attorneys on both sides, because there will be some, filings made, and what will that do to timing? Some will file that we're going to delay it 30 days, and something like, I don't, it just depends on what happens after that.
Sorry, can I just read what I had written down to make sure they're accurate? So,
Thank you.
under new business, I have.
This guy's pretty good, he's good at it too,
Yeah,
so.
I have, what is up with the data center? I wrote, a lawsuit's been filed and the judge will decide about whether the data center is eligible to be placed in a zone designated for heavy industry. The suit was filed in Ripley County and then sent to Jefferson County. The Jefferson County judge recused himself. They're in the process of determining the next judge, as far as we know. Okay.
So,
Do you need a reporter?
What?
Do you need a reporter? He did a really good job summarizing.
Well, if our company would hire more than.
that.
But we're gonna throw that.
Once we get a data center, AI will do it.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. That's not
Found
my,
out AI didn't always accurate.
I know.
Too soon,
Too
DJ.
soon. I apologize.
No, but I do think that the concerns that people are saying are things that are health and human relations related.
Mhm.
So I think that there's a good chance that, it'll be
But-
interesting.
yeah, and, some people have said that we'll let it go through no matter what. Well, once again, why would we do that? That makes no sense. We live here too, so we're not gonna approve something unless it's gonna be satisfactory for the area, so.
I read something that they said that somebody said, the royal they, I don't know who that is, said that a facility of that size would need a power grid larger than the entire state of Indiana's power grid. And I don't know how you find out such a thing, but if that were true, there's no way it could even happen,
Sure,
because that's not possible. So,
so obviously it would be, right? So,
Yeah.
as far as we know, no, so.
Yeah.
So. And the state has said that for these kinds of facilities, if you need more, then the people building it have to provide
we have
more,
to do it, yeah.
so. And there's been some push, I don't know, we'll see if it goes that far, that even with that, because there'll be more supply than demand at that point, the prices will go down, I don't know. A certain provider will do that. But.
other? The thoughts, questions, new business?
I guess I'm just curious, is, are the commissioners, is that a role that's responsible, is this like a city of Madison thing? Is this a county?
This county
It's a
thing,
county thing, okay.
because the location,
Okay.
and Jefferson Proving Ground is in the county, it's not in the city, it's not in the city's buffer zone, so.
Mhm.
I mean, the big question right now is, well, we need to stop them. And so people have asked that, but my point is, we don't know yet,
Right.
we can't, what are we stopping? I mean, people wanna go find bad things about them, yeah, they're out there, guaranteed it, you know? Why would we wanna do that again? I mean, that would be so. Yeah, I mean, it was the planning office which said, because of our ordinances, it fits these criteria that's in there. And some people, well, it's not a warehouse, no, it's not, but and you would go through all the different things that could go into heavy industrial. It has those characteristics, so that's why they said, yeah, it can fit.
Mhm.
And,
Are you and the other commissioners like the final decision makers from the county side of that?
well, I mean, if we wanted to change the ordinance,
Okay.
that would be the commissioners. Usually the plan commission would get the stuff together for a new ordinance, but then in the end, it would come to the commissioners for final approval. I mean, we did that with the solar ordinance a couple of years ago. So that's where the commissioners would play a role. I mean, the ordinance had been approved, and so the ordinance would govern these next steps. And it is a review, so they'll have to submit all their building permit application, and then we'll hire an engineering firm that will review them and go through that, knowing what can be sustained and what can't be, and so that's how that will really be the final determining factor. I mean, did the commissioners approve the ordinance? Yes. But that ordinance and all the details that are there are the thing that govern whether it gets approved or it doesn't.
Okay.
Thank you. Most people, if people would, sorry, if they just come talk to us, we'd be more than happy to talk about things, but.
I guess there's, I guess, I don't know where it.
Okay,
I think the way civics is taught, I don't think that there's a good understanding how government works on a.
I would say you're correct. A lot of people,
And so I guess, so my clarifying question based on the information that you shared with me, I'm learning in this process. It sounds, whenever you say that the ordinance, if there was a desire to change ordinances that would impact the data center, is that things like how areas are zoned and that?
well, so that could be something, I mean, if you want to change the zoning of a particular parcel, the current ordinance would handle that. There's a process to do that.
Mhm.
If you want to say, okay, I want to make the requirements for that particular zone different, you could do that. It's a little different, but you know, I mean, so to pass an ordinance, you gotta do the public meetings and you gotta go through all the approvals and this did, and it, you know, it was 2-3 years ago that it went through that, so it's pretty current. But, you know, then if you wanted to change it, you know, they wouldn't have to go through a process to get changed, but that's laid out in the ordinance itself, or.
So I'm gonna paraphrase this just for practice of making sure I understand.
Okay,
Your responsibility of commissioners is to create the framework for decision-making by which proposals that outside groups like a data center might bring to a local community,
sure, that would go to the planning commission.
to a planning commission.
And, or, yeah, so those would be, and that's the way the ordinance are set up, those kinds of things go to the planning commission.
And then that body operates under the rules that y'all set up to determine whether or not this is approvable or not
Right.
based on our rules.
Right.
Do they have an opinion in that, or is that let's compare the proposal to the policy?
Um,
Or is it kind of a mixture of both of those things, because that's the nature of an elected role, or?
well, it's pretty. I mean, there's a process to go through to review and decide whether it is or it isn't gonna go forward, so, and it's. You know, it's a pretty rigorous process, so it's not one that's, well, I kinda like it, well, let it, you know, so that's, and the plan commission. You know, while they would be the ones that would hold the public hearings and get the ordinance developed, working with consultants to do that, and then in the end, that would come to the commissioners for final approval. And, you know, if the commissioners decide we don't like that, we can kick it back to them and say, we don't like it, you're gonna have to do it again, you know? But there is a lot of public input that goes into those ordinances. Um, 2, 3 public meetings, I'm pretty sure, public hearings, that where the public had input on those. So it's not just, they decide on their own and then that's how it gets set up, it's no, right, we bring people, let people come in and look at them and talk about what they want, so.
And so, just for the notes, is it called the planning commission? Is that the name? What was the name of the group that does the review? And
Yeah, plan commission.
Plan commission?
Mhm.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm like not asking questions that y'all are finding helpful, but I'm.
No, it's good, helpful. Any other thoughts on that or any other new business? Okay. Review action items for next meeting. Jay.
All right, I have, um. I had it written down. Let me just read my notes real fast. We can do. I have, Lindsay is gonna create a social media account and reach out to the members of the committee to get information to build a little profile introduction on the social media. And then I have that everybody else is going to assess whether or not they're available for the event on September 27th and attend the Bethany Legacy Foundation.
17th.
17th, yeah, September 17th, that's number I've written down.
Okay.
It's at 6 to 7 p.m. September 17th, the Bethany Legacy Foundation Town Hall for the Common Good. And there's a RSVP link included in the notes for those.
It's 4
4
to
to 6.
4 to 6.
4 to 6 is the
6 to 7 is the
network,
network.
yeah.
Perfect. Then. 4 to 6 p.m. All right. Thank you for those updates.
Right. Future meeting dates, so. As of now. September 24th. October 22nd. November is an issue because it would be November 26th, that is actual Thanksgiving, so. Can we discuss what we would want to do in November?
To the 24th of September, October 22nd,
Yes.
November 26th, but that won't happen.
Yeah. I mean, if you go a week earlier, that's the 19th.
We have a
Is
commissioner
there a
meeting.
meeting? Is
Wait,
commissioner meeting? Um. I'm wondering. Cause then December gets dicey, of course, with
Yeah,
it would be December 24th, obviously we wouldn't do that, the 17th. For commissioner meeting that day,
yeah,
So I'm wondering if we could like split the difference on the
That's what I was
months, like December 3rd,
Tenth to the third.
December 3rd. Okay. Go with that. So that gives us September 24th, October 22nd, December 3rd. Could you, I think you're the owner of the invites on like the calendar invite.
Yeah.
Could you go and adjust them
Yeah.
and delete and all that? That's great.
Yep.
All right. Any other business? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Aye. Second?
So.
Great. Adjourn, 6:45.